We're joined here today with Nicole Brewster. You're the President and CEO of Renforth Resources. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
And it's nice to have you once again at PDAC. We're live from PDAC right now. And for an investor who may have been hearing about your company, maybe for the first time right now, if you don't mind giving us a quick overview of who you are and what you've been doing over the last little while with Renforth Resources.
For sure, thank you. Renforth is a junior exploration company. We trade on the CSE, symbols RFR, or OTCQB in the States, RFHRF. We have a significant land position in Quebec's near north, where we have wholly owned 330 square kilometers. It's 4.5 times the size of the island of Manhattan. 29 kilometers of battery mineralization on surface, spectacular logistics. However, we also have stock in our treasury to back that with. We have a gold deposit we own on Cadillac's most prolific and cash-generating gold structure that runs for more than 500 kilometers between Kirkland Lake in Ontario and Val-d'Or in Quebec. So we're a little company with some world-class assets, actually.
Yeah, quite a little bit as well. Yeah. And you were saying, I think it was just a little while ago, you started having results come out. If you don't mind, you were talking about how you were advancing your property in Quebec. Can you dive on what those results meant for your company?
Yeah. So if you want to flip to our... So we have 20 kilometers here, and about 9 kilometers here, 2 structures of battery metals. So we get nickel, cobalt, PGMs, along with zinc, copper, and gold and silver. So the results we just put out were exciting. We drilled here for the first time. Yeah. So we validated that location. But we also drilled here, where we've drilled off only 2.2 of the 20 kilometers. We saw gold for the first time. So what we're looking for is something called a VMS, which is it's an old volcano and on the seafloor. And it precipitates out metals. And one of the ones that's a typical part of that signature is gold. So we saw gold for the first time. It had been seen historically. These were historic base metal showings. But yeah, both excellent drill results. And we're gearing up to drill shortly way over there.
Very nice.
4 kilometers away.
I'm going to come back to that as well at the end of this interview for what people can be expecting. But one of the key advantages of this area, and one of the things we were talking about earlier, is your logistics and how this allows you to have to mine and to drill much cheaper than somewhere else, making this much more economical. Can you explain that? For
sure. So we're what you call brownfield. We're looking for a mine in the shadow of head frames, which is always the best place to find a mine. Yeah. One of the mines we're talking about, our neighbor, Canadian Malartic, it's Canada's largest open pit gold mine. That open pit's 4 kilometers long. Our mineralization from the road to the west is over 6 kilometers, but it's at surface. Future open pit. So if you go to the next slide. Yeah. No, sorry, one more. Here we are again, Canadian Malartic mine. There's our gold deposit right on strike. But we're south of the town of Cadillac. We're near the city of Val-d'Or. These are all mining towns. Rouen is an hour away. Yeah. Rouen has Canada's only copper smelter, which can smelt copper nickel, which is what we would produce. But this shows you a few things. No significant water bodies on the property, no people we have to move. Hydroelectric generating stations to the south. 98% of the electricity produced in Quebec is renewable, cheapest power in Canada. 94% is hydroelectric. You saw the road on the other slide and the power line. That's actually how the mineralization was discovered. So we have road access and we have hydropower on the property already. We can open pit mine, because they do it next door. We're near mining centers where anything you might need to mine exists. We don't have any people, we don't have any water, we don't have any animals. We have one First Nation north of us, which we're on good terms with. So we're in Quebec's near north. We're not in the Plaine Nord, we're not way up there. Yeah. The drillers sleep in their beds.
You don't have to bring them in every single day or every week.
Right, and the impact of building a mine here, we're not going to build new roads for a mine. We're not going to create camps. We're not going to impact the environment any more than we have to, than we will by mining. In the future, to be clear, it's not a mine yet. We've got some work to do.
Of course.
But you always do your own due diligence, because I'm the CEO, I'm not impartial. And everything I say is a forward-looking statement. But I'm a huge shareholder and I'm very excited, so that's important. But yeah, phenomenal location, can't get cheaper. can't get in a better spot. So what does a cheap location, what does it mean if it's cheap to operate, if it's cheap to mine? If it's cheap to get the minerals out of the ground, that means you can take a lower grade of minerals out of the ground. So right now we're looking at a large scale nickel sulfide polymetallic. We have a full basket of metals. We actually do have lithium on this property as well in the south. Full basket of battery metals on this property, starting at surface over immense scale. It's interesting when it's large scale because the big mining companies like large scale because you mine these properties for decades, not for years.
Yeah.
So it's quite an exciting story. It's a new story. This is a discovery. A discovery doesn't happen overnight. It's like an overnight success in business, typically 5 years of work.
Yeah.
A discovery in mining, one drill hole does not make a mine or a discovery. You need a whole bunch of good ones. And so far, we're batting 1,000. Every drill hole hits the mineralization. But if you go back now to that slide we talked about earlier. Oh, actually, no, go to that one.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this one. There's the road. There's the power line. This is our detailed magnetics. And this is an EM survey. And every time we go to one of these little EM indicators and our geologists they find bedrock, they find mineralization. This is a roadmap to mineralization. So while I told you we're an exploration company, we're not exploring. We have the mineralization. It's our job to define how much metal is there. Not is the metal there. We got the metal. We just don't know how much.
Well, one of those answers, obviously, in order to become a mine, you need to find how much and all of that. And that takes exploration, which leads to my next question. Where is your company going from here now? What is that exploration plan over the coming weeks and months and into the future?
So a few things. We drilled, this green is our drilling, and we drilled up there. In March, if you can see over by you, the little red stars, those are our highest priority anomaly. That's our highest priority anomaly on the property. I believe this survey has something like 18 anomalies in it. So that's the big boy, the very western end. We're going to drill that in March. It's going to be a fairly arbitrary drill program in that we know where the anomaly is and we've sampled it on surface. We know the mineralization's there. We don't know anything more about it. So we've picked 4 spots to put drill holes in, and those will be what they are. We're drilling for structure. We're not drilling for grade. For example, in here we drilled 3.46% nickel. That's incredibly high grade nickel, but we haven't followed it up because we're drilling for structure. The grade will come. We've got to learn more. We've drilled 2.2 kilometers here and about 500 meters there. So we'll jump 4 kilometers. Later in the summer, I want to be over here drilling, or the fall. We're also down here. This is all prospective for lithium. There is lithium. We have the batholith, which is the big heat generator. And I've hired an expert because pretty much down here, we've got the largest piece of the batholith in the Cadillac Pontiac lithium camp. It's a new lithium camp that's developed. And I've hired an expert to give us a plan for the exploration of the batholith. So we're using experts for pegmatites lithium, and we're using an expert for VMS. So, trying to make a little team punch above our weight class.
I was going to say, there's a lot of at-bats here for various different elements for this. So, and that leads, I know you answered a lot of this already, but it leads into that aspect that I'm sure all investors are always asking. What can they expect from your company over the next little while they can be excited about and searching for as you continue to explore?
A few things. We'll continue to drill. We'll do the surface exploration for lithium. The drill holes can cause a lot of excitement. Lithium can cause a lot of excitement, as we well know. We might look to monetize some of our peripheral assets because I've mentioned 2 assets. We have more in the company. And that'll take us through the summer. Like the lithium exploration, we can only do it in the summer once the snow's gone. So drilling, drill results, lithium exploration, and more drilling. It's that simple because every dollar I can get my hands on pretty much goes in the ground.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate it very much, Nicole. And for anybody who wants to find out more information, if you're watching this right as we're posting this, the PDAC is still going on. So your booth number and your website as well. So
come down to booth 2136 on the Investors Exchange side of the PDAC. Website is www.renforthresources.com. And if you're at all curious or you want some entertainment, I encourage you to scroll somewhere on that homepage. I put the sign up for my newsletter. Whenever I put out a press release, I then put out a newsletter telling you why I put out the press release. Because, for example, the last one I put out was very chewy, full of geology. So then I put one out saying why it was important.
Yeah.
So
which is important because a lot of times people go right past the news release, they don't understand how significant it is until they start reading into it more, literally.
By definition, a news release is material. Legislation, material news. I put out a press release.
Yeah.
So if you don't know why it's material, I'm trying to help you. Why is it material? Why is it important?
Well, thank you so much for that, and appreciate your time very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the PDAC as well.
Thanks. Thank you.